Good morning. It's Monday again, May 18th, and this is your distance learning lesson. We are to letter O on the countdown, and it's outside day. So go outside and read today. Do your Raz Kids, Epic, or your choice. Spend 30 minutes reading. Math today, we're going on to lesson 2 in chapter 11, where we are going to convert our customary units of length, and you'll find out what converting means. First of all, sometimes you don't want to look at the measurements just in feet. You might want to look at it in inches, or not yards, but feet, or not a mile, but feet. Looking at this table right here, you can see that 1 foot is the same as 12 inches. 1 yard is the same as 3 feet, and 1 mile is 5,280 feet. And we're going to use those today to go back and forth between different measurements. So let's start with one example. Caitlin is making a new quilt for her bed. If she buys a piece of fabric that is 5.5 yards long, how many feet long is her piece of fabric? So we're going to go from yards to feet. Well, what do we know? We know that she bought 5.5 yards of fabric. So the first thing we're going to do is multiply the whole numbers. For every yard, there's 3 feet. So she had 5 yards. There's the whole number. Times 3 is 15. Now we have to convert the fraction to feet. So if you had half a yard, 1 yard is 3, so half of 3 is 1.5. And so when you add your 15 and your 1.5 together, you have 16.5 feet of fabric. Let's look at this example. During football practice, Randall runs the length of the field 20 times. A football field is 100 yards. Does Randall run more than a mile in practice? Well, first of all, we've got a lot of converting to do. The first conversion is how many feet are in a yard. And if he did 100 yards, there's 3 feet in the yard, so 3 times 100 would be 300 feet. Now we have to determine if he ran it 20 times. So 300 times 20 would be 6,000. And he ran 6,000 feet during practice. And as you can see here at the bottom, 5,280 feet is a mile. So does Randall run more than a mile? Yes, he does, because 6,000 is greater than 5,280. So would you please turn to page 703 and we'll do some more practice together. Marla's dog, Corey, loves to jump into water. Corey's longest jump is 7 yards. How many feet are in 7 yards? Well, you know the number of yards and you want to find the number of feet. So yards are a larger unit than feet. 1 yard is 3 times as long as 1 foot. So there are 3 feet in a yard. So we have to multiply 7 yards times 3, and that we'll find out there's 21 feet in 3 yards. So you're just going to use those numbers over and over again. And here's a drawing of it so you can see. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yards, and in every yard there are 3 feet. So if you count up all of those feet, you get 21. Would you look on page 704, please? It says to convert 3.5 feet to inches. Well, if we look back on our chart, we know that every foot has 12 inches. So the first step we need to do is take 3 times 12, and that would be 36. Then we have to convert the half here. We can't just forget about that. So since 1 foot is 12 inches, half of a foot would be 6 inches, right? So we're going to have to put those two numbers together. 36 plus 6 is 42 inches. So there are 42 inches and 3.5 feet. Now, would you look on page 704? I'm going to have you do these two tables and stop the video and then correct. And this last column is kind of confusing. All it is repeating what is in the first two columns. So there are 12 inches in 1 foot, so then they put 12.1. I'm not sure why. This seems silly. All you need to really know is what comes in the first column, but we'll follow directions. So 2 feet would be 2 times 12 would be 24. So it's 24, 2. Now you continue, and then number 2 is how many inches in a yard? Well, in 1 yard, there's 36 inches. So it would be 1, 36. Now you finish the table. Okay, looking at this, the next one would be 36 inches is 3 feet and 48 inches is 4 feet. It's just like taking this middle number here times 12. And for the second one, it is 3 yards is 108, 6 yards is 216, and 7 yards is 252. Okay, did you get that? It's just like taking each of these times 36, because there are 36. And for number 3, you're going to convert yards to feet. So if you have 2 yards, how many feet? That would be times 3 each time, wouldn't it? And this, they have miles, and how many feet is that? Remember, it's, oh, sorry about that, 5,280. So you're going to increase each of these by 5,280. Stop the video, do the work, start it, and correct. Okay, here's your answers for number 3. 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 3 is 12, 5 times 3 is 15. And for number 6, you're just increasing each one of these steps by 5,280. Okay, let's take a look at, they call it algebra, because there's a missing number here. So we have to convert from feet to inches, yards to feet, and yards to feet. Then these are some basic questions, 10, 11, and 12. Read through it, try to do it, and then we'll correct. Okay, 11 times 12 is 132. 18 times 3 is 54. 2.5 times what? 3, but 1/3 of 3 feet. 1 out of 3 would be 1. So you would add 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. And how many times, here we're going to just show you the answers and we'll talk about it. How many times longer is 1 yard than 1 foot? 3 times, because 3 feet equal a yard. How many times longer is 1 mile than 1 foot? 5,280, because there are 5,280 feet in 1 mile. How many times shorter is 1 inch than 1 foot? Well, 12, because there are 12 inches in a foot. And how many times shorter is 1 foot than 1 yard? 3, because there are 3 feet in a yard. So skip page 706. Do page 707 to 708, only items number 1 through 17. When you're done, take a picture of it and send it to me. Thank you. Okay, inner journal today. label it May 18th, and the topic that I'm giving you is if you could go to any museum, where would you go, being that it's National Museum Day, or your choice. So here's my example. If I could go to any museum, I would go to the Smithsonian Museums in Washington, D.C. Many years ago, we took a family vacation to Washington, D.C. We visited the Smithsonian Museums, and they were amazing. First of all, they are free, and we saw so many fascinating exhibits. I would like to go again when I don't have small children, so I could spend more time to read and learn as much as possible. So where would you like to go? For science today, you're going to do a brain pop video. This time it's on Newton's law of motion. It's kind of complicated, but it's fun to see why these certain things happen. Take the review quiz, send me your score. Read aloud, we're on chapter 7 of Harry Potter. For art, Miss Porter said go outside or look out the window and observe what you see and draw a picture of the outdoors on Outdoor Day. Also check out her posts on Seesaw. And Mrs. Hotchkiss says work on a puzzle or play a board game today. You could take that outside too. So happy Monday, happy outside day, little girl. Forward and backward, not up and down. Oh goodness. So if you have any questions, you see where to get a hold of me. Have a great day.